Good morning, students. Let us discuss next lesson settlements, migrations. So, these are different topics, but both are dependent each other. Okay. So, what is a settlement? So, usually, settlement means a settlement is a colony or any small community of people. So, in simple way, settlements means stay at one place permanently. But the settlements depend on so many things, so many factors. Okay, so if you see where you are living, you can find different buildings, roads, drains, and organized way in a organized way. Okay, so the way we organize ourselves and our living spaces in a place is called a settlement. So that is geographic space where we live and work. In a settlement, we have different kinds of activities: educational, medical, religious, commercial, etc. Okay, where we are living, we do some, or we can find different kinds of activities: educational, medical, religious, commercial, etc. So we will take a brief look at some aspects of human settlement and the geography related to it. So here some three pictures or images given here. Okay, so first one, A. This place is located at Simla. Okay, near Himachal Pradesh. Okay, so the city of Simla originally designed for a population of 25,000 people. Today it has nearly 2 lakh people. So that was situated on the top of the hills. So that was planned for only 25,000 people. So slowly population was grown. So the people constructed houses around the city. Okay, next another one is B. So it is located at Himalayas, landslide on Himalayas. So there is no chance to settle people in that place. Okay, next another place is a village in Trans Himalayas in Nubra Valley of Ladakh. So the village is situated beside the small stream that flows with glacier melting. Some stream flows only in the summer time. So at the time only they do cultivation. Okay. So this region receives almost no rainfall, and the mountains are barren. No trees are there on the mountains, and only in the summer season only the streams will flow, and they do agriculture. So these are all our geographical conditions of those places. Okay, somewhere no settlement is there, and somewhere thickly population is there, so they spread around the city, and here very little population is there, that too. So they have some harsh condition, they are facing some harsh conditions. Okay, so like this the settlement is depend on so many factors. Clear? Next, so here how our settlements began. So already you know that our ancient people lived as hunter gatherers. So those were nomadics. They never stay at one place. They moved one place to another place to gather the food to hunt the animals. They collected fruits and tubers from the forest. Okay, they stayed under caves. Okay, under trees like that. So for about 1.8 lakhs years, early humans lived in bands as hunter gatherers. So they don't know how to practice agriculture. Okay, they found food, obtained food from the forest. So later, however, owing to changes in ways of obtaining food, some bands took to the deliberate method of production of food agriculture. So those were started slowly cultivating crops. So that was started 1200 years ago. Okay, so these people who practiced agriculture, so are agriculturalists. They were increasingly sedentary. Sedentary means staying in one place. So when they started agriculture, slowly they started staying at one place for particular years, for long period at one place. Okay, here another picture given. So rock shelter used by early humans at beam betka, Madhya Pradesh. Okay, like that, at the time our ancient people stayed some places which are formed naturally. Okay, they don't have to construct houses at the time. Okay, next, slowly when agriculture introduced, people started staying at one place for long period. Like that, settlement was started. Next, why do settlements change? So sometimes people may stay even at the time of nomadics also, or sedentary people also moved one place to another after long period, like do Podu agriculture. Even now tribal people also stay one place for 4 years or 5 years or 10 years. Later they will move to another place to do Podu agriculture. Like that, the settlement also will be changed. So why do settlement change? We will discuss. So settlements change for many reasons. So take one example of Delhi. So once upon a time, Delhi was the center of the India. Now also, Delhi is a capital of our country. So the city of Delhi can claim to have been central to many emperors that ruled India. From Delhi only, even Mughals, Sultans, and other people ruled our country. So after independence, the city remained its capital, become its capital. So over the decades, the city has attracted so many people from different parts of the country. So many people migrated towards the Delhi for search of livelihood, or jobs, or education, or for dispensary, etc. So even in the capital, so many people, so many employees stay, and so many employees may transfer from one place to another place, to the city. So here there was a parliament, and some central government offices are there. So that's why so many people will come and live in the city for their works, for the jobs, okay, for their development. Because of this, the population increased eightfold from 60 lakhs to 1 crore and 60 lakhs. So that's why population was grown. Even in Hyderabad also same condition, because of the Hyderabad is the capital city of Telangana state, and all the government offices and assembly also located in the city. So many industries developed around the city. That's why people migrated. Once upon a time, the Hyderabad population was 15 lakhs. Now more than 1 crore. Okay, so every city usually has a master plan to design and allocate different types of areas. So in every master plan, we will provide different places for different purposes like housing areas, markets, schools, industrial areas, office areas, parks, and recreational areas. So based on these plans, so the city may be grow. Okay, based on this, planners can decide the types of roads, the amount of water or electricity required. So based on the estimation of the future population, the planners may construct or lay the different size of roads within the master plan. Okay, so amount of water or groundwater they will estimate, and they will estimate the requirement of the electricity, and how to dispose waste, how to clean sewage, etc. That would be necessary. So that city of Delhi had three such master plans. So at the beginning, they had one plan. Later, that plan was changed three times based on the growing population, growing settlements. Okay, so like that. But even though, if you see the current scenario, it would appear that these plans have not been implemented properly. So they had master plans, those were not implemented properly. So now the Delhi is now unmanageable. Okay, in fact, Delhi has grown in an unplanned manner. A planned colony usually has all the facilities in place. So government has to announce areas demarcated for different purpose. Already we discussed, for housing, for markets, for schools, like that. They will provide particular place for particular purpose. So the constructions in that areas expected to follow such an order. But what happens? So they don't announce the plan priorly. Okay, so they don't give the clear idea about those areas. That's why people may occupy those places for housing. Okay, on one hand there is growing population in the cities, and on the other hand there is a long delay in planning and announcing how the areas are to be used. The government won't announce priorly. That is the problem. So then people who migrate from different places to cities for looking for work, so they will occupy land and settle around the cities in slum areas. So after that, after some years, they start to construct buildings according to their plan and effort. Okay, so without the permission, they will construct the houses. So they remain unauthorized for long period. So those houses considered as unauthorized. So even in Hyderabad also, recently government introduced LRS, land regulation system. So what is the meaning of that? So the unauthorized constructions will be considered as authorized. Okay, so like that. So when the plan is finally announced, so these areas may be marked for a different purpose. So already people started constructing houses, but those were allotted for either park, either industrial area, either for markets, either for some other purposes. Then those will be evicted from that places. If not, there will be conflict between the government and people. Okay, so this lead to difficult conflict situation. So people face constant threat of eviction, so they seek political patronage from being evicted from their homes. Recently what happened in Hyderabad, so floods occurred because of occupancy of manholes. So many canals or drainage systems were filled, and the people constructed houses in that places, and all the tanks, చెరువులు are occupied and filled with garbage and mud, and they constructed houses. That's why water unable to store, because we faced the floods in the Hyderabad. So like that here, the people face constant threat of eviction. So these colonies are not likely to be recognized because the master plan ignored their existence. So thus these colonies also do not receive many public amenities like drinking water, drainage system, roads, electricity. Okay, so people here are poor but provide essential services to the city. So those are also required to work in different organizations. Clear? So here settlement changed. Okay, next. What type of places are formed as settlement? So which places people can choose to settle? So to understand this, we need to look at these basic concepts: site, situation, the history of the place. So these settlement, for settlement, these concepts may be influence: site, situation, the history of the place. So what is site? Site refers to the characteristics of the place. So which for useful for which purpose? Its topography, altitude, characteristics of water bodies like lakes, rivers, underground water, types of soils, security, shelter from natural forces, and so on. So settlement depend on different factors. One of the factors is site. So here site means characteristics of the area. So water bodies are available. So why in Andhra Pradesh Amaravati was selected as a capital city? Why? Because near the Krishna river is flowing. So that in future, if they construct a capital city there, in future the people won't suffer for drinking water or water for irrigation. That's why they selected that place. Like that here, depend on water bodies like lakes, river, underground water, and types of soils. So is it useful for agriculture or for construction or for some other purposes? Okay, like that. Security. Next, shelter from natural forces, and so on. Recently in Hyderabad, current government selected Visakhapatnam is also another capital. So when we see that is not a place, secured place. Why? Because that place faces cyclones every year. Okay, so like that. So based on security and shelter from natural forces, either it is a earthquake prone area or not, either it is a cyclone affected area or not, if it is a flooded affected area or not. Based on that, the place can choose for settlement. So in early settlement periods, places which had favorable water supply and good protection from invasions were preferred. So, for example, Chhatrapati Shivaji built a fort in Pratapgarh. So, you can see here on the top of the hill almost. Okay, Maharashtra. This site was chosen because of its altitude from where all the surrounding areas could be seen. This provided military security. So that's why he was constructed his fort in the middle of the forest and top of the hill. So he can protect port from other people. So it can be visible. Okay. So like that, Chhatrapati Shivaji constructed a fort in a isolated place for protection, for security. Okay. So next, place do not exist in isolation. So we cannot live isolated. So that site should be connected with other places. Okay. So that is called situation, describes the connection with the other places. For example, Vishakhapatnam is located on the coast and connects to many places in and outside of India. So Vishakhapatnam became popular. Why? Because that was connected with other places, not only in India, even outside of India also. There was a waterways connection is there. Okay. Next, over the decades, Vishakhapatnam's population has grown significantly. So this growth is a result of the importance of Vishakhapatnam as a port city. Why the population is growing more in the Vishakhapatnam? It is a port city. So people have more developments and more working opportunities, facilities. That's why Vishakhapatnam population and Vishakhapatnam also growing. This population increase also indicates the growth in economic and social opportunities. Okay. Next, third one is Vishakhapatnam has a long history. So it was ruled by different dynasties during pre-colonial times. In the 19th century, during the 19th century, that was ruled by Britishers, French, and all different colonial countries. So there was a conflict between British and French because of ports. Okay, so coastal places were of immense significance for colonial powers because they could build ports there. So these ports would enable export of raw materials to the colonizing country. So at the time, more colonial powers fought to occupy the Vishakhapatnam. Why? Because there was a chance to export the raw material to their countries. So like that, here three basic concepts like site, situation, the history of the place influence the settlement. So site means the facilities, either soil, either water, okay, either security, okay, like that. Next, situation means that should be interconnect with other places. The people cannot live isolated. So next one is the history of the place. Already we discussed both Delhi and Visakhapatnam. So those are having more history from ancient time. That's why the people chose these places to settle. Okay, those are also geographically having good conditions for settlements. Okay, here when you see the Visakhapatnam population table given here, in 1901 there was only 40,892 people were there. Slowly the population size increased. So 1911 population increased by 6.2%. and in the year 1921 that was decreased 3.3% only later onwards. So the Visakhapatnam population was growing more, 28%, 22% in 1951, almost 50% growth we can see, and in 1961 95% growth was there, in 1971 72, and in 1991 that was decreased, in 2001 78% population growth was there, in 2011 51%. Now the Visakhapatnam population as per 2011 census 20 lakh 35,000. I think now it is increased up to 50 lakhs. So like that Visakhapatnam, because of the favorable conditions, Visakhapatnam population grown constantly. Clear? So next lesson, next part of the lesson we'll discuss in the next class. Thank you.